people, CzarThwomp here, and welcome to episode 58 of Ace Investigation 2. Last time, we basically were arguing back and forth with Lang about whether or not Justine and John killed President Wang. Of course, Lang was just fighting tooth and nail because no one calls Lang old. No one calls Lang old. He will arrest entire families if you insult his age. Now, let's get going. You have a problem with that?
There's a fair amount of dirt inside the front of the costume. Yeah, that is a lot of dirt.
However, I would like you to focus on the state the body is in.
It's lying on top of the dirt, and yet there's no dirt on the front of the body. If the body really was inside the costume, then it's strange that the front of the body is stained with more dirt.
Well then, how would you explain it? How did the dirt get inside the costume?
From the video footage, it's very likely that someone was inside the costume, but just who could it have been? Where have I seen this? What's the matter, Kay? I just feel like I remember seeing something that looked like this dirt somewhere before. But where was it? There were these bits of gray fragments mixed in with the dirt.
Gray fragments?
There does seem to be something other than normal dirt mixed into it. Something must have gotten stuck into it, and lots of it, I might add.
Something got stuck into it. This may merit a closer look. Where did we see dirt that looked like what's stuck on the inside the costume? Yeah, basically, Blaise's gloves. Yeah, you can probably start piecing some things together.
This dirt has some gray bits mixed into it.
Huh? And what of it?
We found an item belonging to a certain man that was covered in the same type of dirt. That is to say, these gloves.
Those dirt stains certainly look like the same, but tell me, just what exactly is this gray substance?
This gray substance is
paint! I know it's concrete, but I want to see what plastic is.
Yes, I believe it's plastic. Your thoughts?
Ha! You don't sound very convinced, Mr. Prosecutor. Put more bang into your claims like you usually do. As for my opinion on the matter, it's crap. I'll tell you right now, that stuff certainly isn't plastic.
So that wasn't it. Let's take another good look at the scene of the crime. What would be the most likely thing to have dirt stuck on it? Right, if we focus on thinking that way, the answer should become naturally. This gray substance is...
I want to see paint. I'm just going to...
No matter how you look at it, this must be paint.
Mr. Prosecutor, when did you become so scatterbrained? No matter how you look at it, this doesn't look like paint.
No! I suppose not.
Yes, I know. The state of the crime scene. I'm curious, Kay. I'm curious. I know it's concrete. I knew it was concrete from the start.
This gray substance must be fragments of concrete. You mean the stuff that was scattered around the monster's footprints? Exactly. Meanwhile, who did these gloves, which are stained with the same kind of dirt, belong to? Oh, I remember! We found it at Blaise's place! Earlier today, we went to Blaise's garage.
I love how Edgeworth just responds to Blaise on like a first name basis. Meanwhile, like every other villain gets just this last name sort of thing.
There we discovered these dozen gloves. Come to think of it, there were also hammers, shovels, and other tools placed inside as well. Why would mechanics gloves intended to be used on machines be covered with dirt? If he broke the concrete with the hammer and then dug into the soil with the shovel, then it's only natural for dirt like that to get on the gloves. Then, maybe... Yes, the true nature of the monster's footprints have been made clear. It's possible that these footprints were dug up by Blaise the Best himself.
Yes! Basically, you just learn that Blaise is the plight that keeps on giving in the Ace Attorney universe. Even after you get arrested, you keep discovering more and more stuff that was happening. Yeah, so basically just timeline. Blaise is doing all this illicit act, basically trying to get Kay arrested for him murdering Joe Crane. And meanwhile... And then that night, everyone's asleep. Blaise is breaking into film lots and digging up footprints. It's possible. It's possible, you say. Please do enlighten me, because I honestly have no clue. Why on earth would we do something like that, except to screw me over?
Why would he make the monster's footprints?
He buried something. I was digging Sebastian's grave. I was gonna bury him there and just leave him there for all eternity.
Here's digging something up. It's possible he was digging something up. It probably went something like this. Last night at this vault, there was something that Blaise needed to dig up. For that reason, he broke the lock on the back door and stuck it to the film lot. He rented a U-Haul truck and just burst it right through it. That's just Blaise. He just doesn't care. He just goes sledgehammer.
Bang! Screw your luck!
Using the hammer and the shovel, he set to work.
Just digging up these footprints. Blaise does not sleep. He's like Batman, except evil.
He placed the items he dug up into his bag, but before he could fill in the holes... Ah, that's when John came to practice! Exactly! Blaise panicked and had no choice left to hide himself in the Moozilla costume nearby.
To think that you would deduce so much from just a pair of dirt-stained gloves. However, all this is merely a possibility. But one thing I've always found strange about this thing is that Edgeworth is revealing... Oh, actually, no. Not, I won't tell you now. We still have a little more before I can actually really say it. There's still no proof that he was the one who was hiding inside the costume. For all we know, he might have left the scene once he finished digging.
On the contrary, such proof does exist and can be seen in this video. When this video was recorded, Blaise was definitely inside the film lot.
What?
Though I can't blame Agent Lang for not noticing, because the bag. The difference between the current film lot and the one in John's video, along with the state of Blaise's garage, it's all too clear that Blaise was still here. The ground was soaked with Sebastian's tears.
Yes, right here, the rubber bag.
This bag placed in the costume. There was an identical one inside Blaise's garage.
Now, basically, one thing I've always found strange is that, just as I was trying to say before, basically, Edgeworth proves that Blaise was on the film lot. But yet Justine has no reaction whatsoever. She has no reaction to the prospect that her son was alone on a film lot in the middle of the night with a guy who was aspiring to kidnap him and a guy who is a notorious psychopath. She shows no anxiety, no panic, nothing whatsoever. Just no. Yeah, I can just imagine Justine. She gets home with John that evening. This is why I tell you, do not go out without calling me. There are psychopaths hiding around. What if Chairman DeBest saw you? What if DeBest saw you? He could come out of that costume and hit you upside the head with a shovel. I've seen him do worse to his own son.
First the down the gloves and now the bag. It seems there's a connection. And that's my proof. Blaise was indeed inside the costume. Ergo, the prison boy could not have been hidden inside it.
Yeah!
It seems I was able to refute Agent Lang's reasoning.
Someone needs to go and investigate Blaise's house right away, pal! We need to know what was inside that bag! Yes, sir!
Y'all pipe down, listen up. Y'all just been saying whatever works best for y'all. And the noisy one returns. There's the footprints of the man Moozilla. They ain't just some random whole thing about that old coot. I believe the true nature of these footprints has already been proven quite logically. Logic schmagic. I ain't buying it. You say whichever you want, but I know what I saw, and I saw Moozilla. Is she referring now she saw Moozilla out the window of the Grand Tower? Preposterous. Upon our journalist stoves, we ain't having none of it. That statement is an insult to journalists everywhere. That's right. There are more to the monsters than just them footprints. I remember hearing that Sonny over there was seen with the monster earlier. I reckon that gal over there said she witnessed it herself. When these two are together, all meaningful talk grinds to a halt. If only we knew just what the monster really was, I think those two would quiet down. Sure, Edgeworth, isn't there anything you can do? The monster's true identity. We don't have much choice. Let's see what we can do. Sorry, just give me a sec.
That's good. That's good sparkling lemonade.
Isn't there something y'all ain't telling us about the monster? Nicole, ask him right now. We'll beat you up in the parking lot.
I can just imagine Nicole and Lana just teaming up and beating Edgeworth up after all this is done for just taking away so many of their scoops.
Please settle down. Regarding the true identity of that monster, I already know what it is. What'd you say? That's right. The video John recorded provided the hint that I needed. What you talking about? Miss Nichols saw Goldie when she went to check up on John's practice. At that time, she mistook something for Goldie. The monster can be seen in this photograph. What? Ain't this just some plain old souvenir photo? Y'all don't really think you can pull the wool over the eyes of a pro like me, do you?
Okay, I think she mistook this for Gordy, I believe. Yeah, just wanted to double check.
Naturally, Gordy's right that he was. This camera crane! What? This video John recorded was shot from fairly high up. A shot from this position would be impossible without a camera crane. But there ain't no way Miss Nichols would mistake a camera crane for Gordy. I wonder about that, Miss Nichols. Yes? Earlier you said the prescription for your glasses didn't match your eyesight anymore, correct? Yes, lately it seems like my eyesight has suddenly gotten a lot worse. So you would say that you weren't able to see Gordy very clearly in the dark? That's right. Its silhouette was all I could make out. But remember what Miss Nichols said, and I quote, its skin was really scaly, almost like a reptile. Camera cranes ain't got no flesh on, let alone skin. It's just a bare steel frame. That's certainly true, at least in the case of this photo. However, last night it did have skin. Y'all just doing whatever y'all can to get in the way of our big scoop, ain't you? That was not my intention. But since I've come this far, it's time to put an end to your nonsense. Gordy's skin is right here before our very eyes. Yes, this is the skin of Gordy that Miss Nichols saw. As Miss Nichols stated in her testimony earlier, it looked like it was going to rain last night. While it actually rained. John still covered the camera crane with a rainproof sheet, which to Miss Nichols looked like a monster skin. What? You gotta be kidding me! Isn't that right, John? Man, you saw through it, not better, man! Unfortunately, the Gordy that Miss Nichols saw was nothing more than an illusion. Not again. Looks like my dream has shriveled up and died once again. Manter. Seems like things have finally settled down. I really thought the boy was hiding something from me. Guess I had it all wrong. Now that we've figured out the true form of the monster, everyone seems refreshed. Actually, there's two people here who are totally bummed out. Agent Lang! The forensics report is in, sir! We've got the results of President Wang's autopsy! Good! Show it to me! Contusions and bone fractures found across the body, resulting from tremendous pressure. So, this was the cause of death. In other words, he was crushed to death. I thought as much. The yellow stain on his chest is currently under investigation. But it seems that gunpowder residue was found on his right hand. Sunflower residue? I didn't know the person was into gardening. No, gunpowder residue. Traces of it are left behind when a gun is fired. Since it has been found on his right hand, it's possible that the person fired a gun. A gun, huh? But we didn't find any guns when we investigated this area. Unexplained gunpowder residue. I'll have to look over the autopsy report later. Now then, Agent Lang, it seems we have our answer. The president did not die from falling off the roof of the Grand Tower. Rather, he died from being crushed under Moozilla's head. I can't deny it. Looks like your logic was right after all.
This means the suspicions around Miss Courtney should be cleared up now, right?
Yes, not only the cause of death, but the time of death proves her innocence as well. Judge Courtney met with the president 2 nights ago. However, according to the autopsy report, the time of death was around 11 p.m. last night. Moozilla's head also fell last night. It matches up perfectly.
That's a relief.
Isn't it a bit too early to be relieved?
Agent Lang!
The president died after being crushed by the Moozilla's head. That I will admit. But the problem is, who was responsible for the falling head?
Moozilla's head fell last night. And last night, the only one who was at the filming lot was...
What are you saying? Surely you're not implying... Oh, I am! That's right, you killed him, didn't you? Langsy is on my side. Praise be to Langsy. John Marsh. Call me old. That pup is hiding something. He was at the scene where the body was discovered last night. He also saw the footprints. And despite that, he still claims to know absolutely nothing about the incident. Isn't that a bit too convenient?
These footprint-shaped holes have not been proven to be related to the case. Just because he saw the holes doesn't necessarily mean that he's involved in the incident.
You sure about that? Take a look at the pup's face. He looks pretty shaken up to me.
It looks like we hit the mark, but John doesn't want to talk about it.
If he doesn't feel like talking, then I have an idea on my own. Let's check out the tape.
Agent Lang, what's your intention?
The police have a device that lets you analyze the video footage up close and personal. I love how Lang acts like he's the one introducing this concept, and then Gumshoe, move over! That's my line! Psh, Gumshoe just whacks him with Mr. Video Analysis. Agent Lang, you would suspect John enough to go that far? He called me old, he's going down.
As long as John's lips are sealed, this may be the only way for us to get closer to the truth. Detective Gumshoe, if I'm not mistaken, you have that device with you, correct?
Mr. Analysis is ready to go, so I'm gonna beat the crap out of this guy, thinking he can take my role. Now we're talking. Prosecutor Edgeworth, would you please perform the video analysis for us?
She wants me to do it?
Who knows what kind of faults that Wolfman will find in it?
This isn't exactly my strong suit, but I suppose I have no choice.
Okay. Okay. There we go.
This is...
What's the matter? I want to see too. Eek!
Hey! What's wrong? Show it to me. Prosecutor Edgeworth, I request you submit that evidence to the court.
We're not in court. Please take a look at the top right corner of the zoomed-in video.
This person is... The president! Impossible!
Huh? No way!
It seems we finally found at last the evidence that points to the true killer.
This video places John at a major disadvantage.
You're right! That's not right! I didn't know anything about this! That... Damn it, Lang! Stop trying to do lyrics! I'm sorry, but I have to do it. For Langsy. That's not gonna cut it! Langsy says bull crap to that. It's clear that you and the victim were together at the same place where the body was later found. John Marsh, there's no doubt you killed the president. No, this can't be. Why would you? John, please don't tell me. Did you really kill the president?
Mr. Edgeworth, is this really decisive evidence?
Mr. Prosecutor, looks like even you can object to this. That pup said he didn't know anything, right? And yet the president's right here in the video.
John, what are you hiding?
John, please tell us the truth. The truth is, it's not my fault. John Marsh, what did you do? Moozilla's head falling off is all my fault. During rehearsal, when I was setting up the equipment on the roof, I used the heater. After that, I went down to practice, but I forgot to turn it off. Need my ice. Oh yeah, that's good, that's good. Excuse me. Then my mom called me so I have to film her. It's all your fault, Mom! When I came back to the lot, all the phone code's over. Moozilla's head that was on the roof had fallen, and right next to it was the president lying down on the ground. How can that be?
I see, there were indeed traces that something had caught fire on the rooftop.
It was just a small fire, so I was able to put it up by myself.
So, the president death is John's fault. John ruined the nation.
But wouldn't that make this an accident, Zoe?
And then what did you do with the fallen head?
I took it apart, brought the pieces back of the roof, and put it back together. So, you put out the fire and even put the fallen head back on the roof. which means you are hiding evidence. We can't be having that, you naughty little pup. Try calling me old in the holding cell. I didn't do it on purpose. I really did just forget to drop the heater. Right. Just like how you accidentally called me old.
When the legs broke, the stand would have tilted. If Moozilla's head was on top of the stand,
It would have fallen off, so the head fell down because of the fire.
yes. And if that's the case, I have also a pretty good idea of what caused the fire. There was a flower can next to the heater. It seems someone is lacking in safety awareness.
Was it really just an accident? If that's the truth, then what was the president doing here? I don't know. There was no one else around when I was here. He could be. Actually, now that I think about it, the president was giving me these whispering weird things in my ear during rehearsal. He also gave me some flowers and a carton of milk that was already open. It was like a cup of milk and it was unexposed. You expect me to believe that? The resident wouldn't have just come to this place without a reason, you know.
Indeed, the resident's reason for coming here is still a huge mystery. 2 nights ago, he met with Judge Courtney on the roof of the Grand Tower. And last night, he was here at the film lot. Did he meet with John? I'll have to listen to John's testimony very carefully.
During rehearsal.
John, you are still young. I know it can get a little cold in LA Spring, but you shouldn't have to resort to a heater.
It is precisely because he is young that he must make sure to take good care of himself. I can't let him fall apart like you, Prosecutor Edgeworth.
However, while it can get a bit chilly during this time of year, I wouldn't necessarily say...
Hold on, old man. Is it really the right time to be having this argument?
He's completely right!
John, you did well to get the better of Mr. Edgeworth, but please mind your language.
Let's not forget that he got the better of you too, Your Honor.
I knew, ma'am. So, where was I? Yes, and then John gets a cookie for just besting Edgeworth.
You forgot to turn off the heater? You didn't check it before leaving the roof?
I meant to turn it off, but I was so too focused on practicing, so... come on, everyone forgets stuff like that sometimes.
Yeah, I gotcha. I forget small things like that all the time, too. Like, sometimes I forget to turn off the AC or the lights in Mr. Edgeworth's office. Or I'll just jump off the ladder of his bookshelf or leave prank calls on his answering.
That was you, okay?
And I cut Gumshoe's pay over that!
So you never...
Oh, you stole my pay, Miss Edgeworth?
No, I'm still cutting it. It would be too much effort, Gumshoe.
But forgetting that the heater is really dangerous and you gotta be careful.
Some of those things had nothing to do with forgetfulness. So, John, please continue.
Looks like you've got it rough too, old man. Well, back to my story.
It was late at night at the film lot, and not a single crew member on the film lot was around. So then, why did you have to leave the premise in order to answer the phone call?
I totally forgot about the phone call thing, so I got panicked. If I didn't answer fast, I would have been buzzed for leaving the hotel without permission.
In that case, why didn't you just answer it here?
Because I was rehearsing, all the cameras and mics were on. If I talked here, every last word I said to ma'am would have been on camera.
So he was embarrassed that the conversation with his mother would be recorded.
I don't want people to know my ma'am loves me. Anyways, he stopped practicing for a bit and rushed out of the film lot.
In that phone call, you lied and said you were at the hotel, correct?
Why didn't you tell your mom that you were rehearsing?
If I told her that, she would have called the hotel and made them send me a taxi or something. No, Justine, she would have drove there herself. She would have been banging her gavel against the car door. John, where are you, John? Psh, John, just banging her gavel. John, come out and play. Of course I would have. A child alone on the streets at that time of night. And with Blaise the best around, do you know what he does to his own son? Do you know what he did to his own son? That was Sebastian. Do you want to end up like Sebastian, John? No, I don't want to end up like Sebastian. No one does. What sort of parent would allow their child to be in such a dangerous situation? And then meanwhile, Blaise, hold my barbed club. Knowing Blaise, he would just leave Sebastian on a raft in the middle of the ocean. That would be Sebastian's beach vacation.
I guess kids don't just understand how their parents feel.
It goes both ways, Mr. Edgeworth.
Indeed. Now then, John, please tell us about what happened after the phone call.
Oh yeah, of course. When the call was finished, I came back here.
Was there any indication that the head was about to fall?
I don't know, I was too focused on my rehearsals.
So you forgot to turn off the heater, which led to the fire on the roof. I would think you should have at least heard something.
Heard something? Oh, I was wearing headphones, so...
Headphones?
The movie soundtrack helps me get into the scene. I had it on full blast, that's why I didn't hear anything.
And yet you noticed your mother's incoming call.
That was actually less sound and more the feeling of imminent doom. I had my phone vibrate, old man, that's all I noticed, and it was the head falling.
What was the state of the body?
I didn't get a good look because it was dark.
He suddenly became as quiet as a mouse.
I guess John doesn't really want to remember anything about the body.
Is that the only reason why he's going so quiet? Should I press him for more details? Of course. You didn't go look. Then how did you know he was dead?
Well...
He's clearly shaken. He must be hiding something. Wouldn't you normally call for help if you see someone collapse on the ground? However, you did nothing of the sort.
But he was already dead.
If that's so, you seem quite certain that the person was already dead. Now, is there a reason for that, I wonder?
The guy was collapsed on the ground, and right next to him was the fallen monster's head. I'm not stupid, it wasn't that hard to imagine what happened.
You can imagine whatever you want, but there was no way for you to know that he was dead. You actually checked to make sure the person was dead, didn't you?
Yeah, that's right. I was scared, but I got close to the body and checked to see if he was breathing.
I thought as much. Oh, why would he hide that? There must be a reason. Please tell me the state that the body was in at the time.
At first I didn't know he was dead. I would have realized sooner if there had been any blood. But there wasn't a single drop and his clothes were completely spotless. Either way, he wasn't breathing. That's how he was already dead.
Would you please append those statements to your testimony?
Boom.
His clothes were spotless.
Yeah, that's right. You got a problem with that, old man? We'll answer that next time. Anyways, I really appreciate you going to watch this episode. You're a great viewer. Be good for the next one. If you like, subscribe, comment, share, do whatever you want. And with that, I'll see you later. Bye.